alhamdulillah, Sisters is moving into a new phase now. When we started, print magazines were the rage, or lots of print magazines around when we first started. Majority of them are gone now. It's quite a deserted landscape. So, subhanallah, I thought to myself, this content that we've been creating for the past, since 2007, it deserves a wider audience. I want to share Sisters with the world. I don't want it trapped in a magazine, in a warehouse, or in somebody's house. I want to share what we've been doing with the world. So alhamdulillah, we're blessed to have a fantastic team put together a website for us that is basically our new platform. It's our new online home. And so all the articles from the previous issues are finding their way online for free for the first time. And for me, I can't describe really how monumental this is for me and for the Sisters family, because some of the stuff is really, really powerful. We just were talking about, I was talking with the content editors, and we were talking about one of the articles that we published a few months ago on emotional abuse in marriage. And when I read it in the magazine, I was immediately struck by just how raw and real the pain was in this article. And it wasn't just men abusing their wives emotionally, it was wives abusing their husbands emotionally. And you had these, mashallah, brave souls, Muslims, Muslims, men and women, sharing their experience with emotional abuse in the magazine. Firstly, that's something that you don't see every day, okay? The fact that people shared their story, something you don't see every day. The fact that they were both men and women, brothers and sisters, talking about being emotionally abused, again, something you don't see every day. At the time, I was speaking with somebody who had a friend who had been emotionally abused by his wife. And we sent them the article. And he was so moved and touched by the fact that this was being acknowledged. So you've got a whole community, really, of people whose life stories have not been acknowledged, whose struggles are not being acknowledged, okay, whose difficulties are not being acknowledged. When we don't acknowledge something, we can't address it, we can't heal it. If you pretend something isn't there, how can you put medicine or how can you prescribe medication? You can't. So when we were talking in the editors' meeting about putting the article online, I just said to them, you see how many hundreds, thousands of people, whatever, read this in the magazine? Watch and see what happens when this article goes live online, because this is where the people are. This is where you will find the people who need to hear this. This is where you will find the people who need the inspiration, who need the company, who need the sisterhood, who need the information, who need that kick, who need that push, who need that support to get to the next level in their lives, whether it's their iman, whether it's their practice of Islam, as a wife, as a mother, as a teacher, whatever it is, you will find those people online. So, the fact that we're going online and we're putting the content out there for free and it's accessible to everybody online, no matter where you are in the world, as long as you've got an internet connection, for me, it's like the fulfillment of something very, 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 very big. And I feel it's what the content deserves. It's what the writing deserves. It's what this work we've been doing since 2007, this is what it deserves. It deserves the widest audience possible. It deserves to be accessible. It deserves to be commented on. It deserves to be shared. It deserves to be spread. I really, really believe that very, very strongly. And so for me, it's just, I'm so excited and I can't wait to launch on the 28th of November, because I'm so excited and I pray, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, Allah accepts it from me and all the people involved, and that it's a snowball effect. Sisters is a platform, okay? We don't own everything. It's a platform. But I want this to be the world's biggest platform for Muslim women who are growing, who are healing, who are supporting each other, who are trying and striving to be the best Muslims they can be. I want this to be their platform. Sisters opened me up. I think that's the best way to put it. Sisters opened up my mind, opened up my heart, opened up my life. There were times when I thought that it shut my life down completely. But yeah, sisters opened me up. And I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for working on Sisters. if it wasn't for, working with the amazing people I've worked with, being privileged to work with the amazing people I've worked with, to read their experiences, to read their work, to help them get an audience for their work. For me, it's always been about being a conduit. Help other people to get out there. It's not about me. Help other people to get out there. When we had Sisters Magazine, and mashallah, now we have the website, we now have a way to push the ideas that we want to push out there, to push the image of ourselves that we want to see. So remember I said to you about reclaiming the narrative? This is what Sisters is doing, reclaiming the narrative. There's too many articles about Muslim women by non-Muslims who don't know anything about who we are. We don't care to know who we are. Alhamdulillah, now we're in a stage where, mashallah, Muslim women are writing all the time about who we are and what we do and what we think. But when Sisters Magazine first came out, we were one of the few. And so for me, what I've gained is just that much more pride in being who I am and who we are. And another thing I think that I don't want to fail to mention is the empathy. Anybody who's read my poetry and has seen my later work will know that empathy is a big thing for me. It wasn't always the case. I wasn't always very empathetic. But I think working with Sisters and working through the issues that we dealt with in Sisters and realizing that there are different stories and different narratives and different viewpoints, and that people are all on a journey, that everybody is on their own journey, and you have to honor that journey. That's something that I don't think I would have learnt if it wasn't for Sisters. And so, subhanAllah, I pray He accepts it from us. I will always be grateful to Sisters as a family for my own personal growth and for the growth of everybody else who read it and who benefited from it. It's a beautiful thing, and I really hope that now that we're online, more people will come to know Sisters and come to experience what we experienced and start a revolution. Why not?